Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. And things are starting to get a little spicy and interesting. I record this on November 29th at 8 o'clock in the evening Pacific time. Leaders of the House Armed Services Committee said late Saturday they are seeking full accounting of an early September U.S. military attack against an alleged drug trafficking boat in the Caribbean after a report alleged that Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth ordered U.S. troops to, quote, kill everybody, unquote, aboard the vessel. This is the reading I did last night. That posted up Saturday morning on November 29th. This video will post up on Sunday morning, November 30th. Representative Mike Rogers, the chair of the House Committee, and Representative Adam Smith, the top Democrat on the panel, said in a joint statement, this committee is committed to providing rigorous oversight of the Department of Defense's military operation in the Caribbean. Aaron Parnas reported today that Department of Defense lawyers, or lawyers reviewing the case on the Department of Defense, basically said these killings that are happening in the Caribbean are not legal. Further, they said, we take the reports of follow-on strikes on boats alleged to be ferrying narcotics in the Southcom region and are taking bipartisan action to gather a full accounting of the operation in question. Again, for those not familiar with the story, the administration said there was an attack on a boat allegedly carrying drugs that killed 11 people. The first strike killed 9. 2 survivors were clinging on to the wreckage of the vessel, and a second strike was called to basically fulfill the requirement by the Secretary of Defense to kill everyone. According to normal Geneva Convention type rules, you are not to blow up people who do not pose a threat to you. These are, shipwreck survivors. You're actually supposed to rescue them, not blow them up. You don't kill the prisoners. Pete Hegseth on Friday said that the report by the Washington Post was quote-unquote fake news. God, where have we heard that before? Insisting that the U.S. military strikes against the alleged drug smuggling boats, both in the Caribbean and Eastern Pacific, are, quote, lawful, unquote. Really? Oh, then you should have no problem answering questions and being scrutinized for this, right? Remember how much the White House screamed when Mark Kelly put out his public service announcement about you have a duty to ignore an illegal order. This explains it, right? Hegseth's response in the report by the Washington Post prompted Senators Roger Wicker and Jack Reed, a Republican from Mississippi and a Democrat from Rhode Island, respectively, to issue a joint statement saying the Senate Armed Services Committee has directed inquiries to the Department of Defense and will be conducting vigorous oversight to determine the facts related to these circumstances. So what am I saying? Or what's happening here? We're starting to see the unraveling of Trump. Okay? Congress, bipartisan armed services committees, both in the House and in the Senate, are investigating these actions happening in the Eastern Pacific and the Caribbean. Those orders came from Pete Hegseth, but they would also come from Donald Trump. While Donald Trump cannot be legally criminally punished for those, according to the Supreme Court under their current rulings, he can be impeached for them. Because guess what? That's an illegal order that you've issued to the military, murdering people. In a, to quote Susan Lynn, a extrajudiciary manner, outside the law. Trump, the Epstein files are going to be released soon. Trump is absolutely panicking over that. The Congress, both in the House and the Senate, passed these things effectively unanimously, except for one House member. So that showed Trump that they're willing to hold him accountable. And now Trump has given them an excuse to remove him. This is I mean, it has nothing to do with politics now. This is, you ordered our military to kill people. It's as cut and dry as you can get it. Now, well, does that mean Trump will get impeached by it? Maybe, maybe not. But Hegseth is certainly going to have to take the fall for this as we go down the pike here. I would fully expect they're going to work their way up, starting with the fighter pilot or the bomber pilot who launched the second missile. Probably the first one, too. But definitely the second one. And then you start working up the chain of command. But let's take a look. Gary and I just did a reading on this, and that'll be on the Twin channel. It's a little bit different. I want to look at the congressional aspects of it, and then I want to look to see if this will lead to an impeachment of Hegseth and an impeachment of Trump. Okay? These readings, as all of my readings, are for entertainment purposes only. So, come on down. Let's take a look. We're right here. Let's take a look at Congress and the armed service committees here as they look into, yikes, as they look into the actions reportedly ordered by Pete Hegseth and the conduct of the military following these orders. Okay, so we start off with the Six of Swords, crossed with the Two of Pentacles, and underneath is the Four of Swords. All right, overseas actions, folks on boats. There is now turmoil. This is moving from choppy waters to calmer shores. You have a turmoil here, but I think this is representing people on a boat. These are not military people. This is not a military vessel. Crossed with the Two of Coins. In my readings, I have started to equate the coins to orders being given. And the orders are being given. And to me, this is more the military vessel here. You are not to attack women and children, civilians that are out there, or fishermen for that matter, that are out there. But they've been given an order to follow, and what choice do you make? Four of Swords is underneath it. This is the choice of the person doing the strike, but for Congress, they have to look into this. This is something that's been kept quiet, but now it's been exposed, and Congress can't look into it. Choppy waters. Choppy waters. The Washington Post, by exposing this story, is forcing Congress and the oversight committees to do their job. I heartily believe that the folks on these oversight committees didn't understand what was happening and don't have insight to what's happening. But here's the problem. Now the public knows. And because the public knows, they are now forced to do something about it. If the public never found out, I doubt we would be having these oversights. Okay? So, if you ask, is there anything I can do to help with the situation we've got going on? Yeah, contacting your congressman when you find out stories like this. Encouraging reporting like this by the Washington Post or independent journalists that are out there. This is the type of investigative journalism that we need to get out of the situation that we're currently in with this country. In the past, the Queen of Pentacles. I think they've had this information sitting in their lap for a while. The Congress, both the House and the Senate. They've had this information, or certainly they knew enough to know what was going on. And now, current situation, now their hands are tied. They can't pretend that they didn't see it. They can't pretend they can't act on it. They've seen it, and they have to act on it. And it's kind of one of those, you can almost see the apologetic phone call going to the Department of Defense to work its way up through Hegseth to Trump, that our hands are tied. This got out. This wasn't supposed to get out, and not to be conspiracy theory-ish on this one, but look at it from if there was a cover-up here, and these oversight committees don't really want to do their job. That's the mindset you have to take, and then things sort of simplify. The information got out. We are now bound. We are honor bound to have to actually investigate it now. We're really sorry. We don't want to do this. You don't want us to do this, but you didn't control the information that got out. That would be one way to look at it. Another way is now they've got confirmation that they can't ignore, and now they're duty bound to investigate it. It may not be as conspiracy theory-ish, or maybe they just didn't know, but that just seems so hard to believe, you know what I mean? And if they didn't know, they should be super livid that they were kept out of the loop on this one. So watch kind of the passion with which these armed service committees go after Hegseth. Because if they're extremely aggressive, both Republicans and Democrats, I mean, you can expect the Democrats are going to go after Hegseth. But if the Republicans go after him, that means they're embarrassed. And they got caught unaware, and it puts them in a really awkward spot. And they're going to go after Hegseth hard. So that's what to watch for, to see if this is something they knew or didn't know. Overarching energy is the Seven of Wands. So now it begins. The games begin here. The investigations are going to start. If Hegseth thought his life was busy and miserable before, now we've got committees, we've got people activated, the investigations are going to start. We're going to look at all sorts of things. The lesson to be learned is the Knight of Wands. And these investigations are going to progress. We're not going to see trials next week or anything along those lines, but there's going to be progress made on these investigations. They can't ignore it. It's in the zeitgeist. They cannot ignore it. The outcome is the Two of Cups. Now, on the most positive way to look at this, which is what I'm hoping I'm getting here, Republicans in red, Democrats in blue are coming together under a united cause. That something we can all agree on. Having our military murdering civilians is unacceptable. Yeah, I agree. That's the way it should be, right? It's kind of frightening, though, how far down the moral values and ethical pole we've slid to where that's the common ground that we need to reach in order to build something off of. You know what I mean? You'd like to think that as a country we're better than that. That we don't have to go down to murdering civilians is the bedrock, the rock bottom thing that we can agree on and not diverge from. Again, like the Epstein files, it'll be one of the few things you probably were able to agree with your MAGA in-laws or your MAGA uncle at Thanksgiving was we all want these child sex predators prosecuted regardless of political party. For some of you probably couldn't even get that. Child sex predators and murdering civilians. That's where the common ground is. We've got a lot of work to go in this society. All right. What's the mood in the White House in the department with Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump with regards to the announcements of these investigations? Let's focus on Hegseth first, okay? I don't really care what Trump thinks because Trump's going to be immune anyway. So guess what? Guess who doesn't care? Guess who's got a whole bag of I couldn't care less in his stocking? Hegseth. Oh, God. Now, normally, the Ace of Cups is a card of passion. It could be really angry. It could be really passionate. But Pete Hegseth has a different meaning for this card. I'm not even looking at the card. For those wondering, I'm like this. I'm not even looking at the card. I can't look at the card. For Hegseth, it's got another meaning. We know he's got a drinking problem. He's got a drinking problem. He had a drinking problem before. Folks on Fox said that he did. He didn't address it while he was going through his when they were vetting him and voting on him. We've seen the pictures of him taking sips of water like the water bottles fill a vodka, that type of thing. I think it's back to his drinking problem. Maybe he had a couple when he issued that order. He also had like an interview apparently where he was saying, what if we were to treat Al Qaeda like they treat everybody else? You know, not to, maybe we'll take them prisoners if they surrender, and if they don't, we'll rip their arms off and feed it to pigs. You know, something like that is, I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but that's pretty darn close to the quote I was hearing here. That's not something a responsible Secretary of Defense would say. Now, he was not the SecDef when he said that. I'm sure he was a Fox News personality and he was giving a talk, because that was in 2024 before he was in office. But it kind of gives you the mindset that he has. Kill everyone. He may not have been sober when he did this, but I think his drinking is contributing to this. Or the story of this breaking out is going to contribute to his drinking. We got the 4 swords, the 9 of coins, the lover's card, and the 9 of cups. I think he is going back to some self-destructive behavior. He probably didn't think he would be held accountable for it. Center underneath is the 9 of coins. I'm going to say this is his wife. I think his wife, there's something about secrets and relationships in his wife. I don't know, maybe he's been drinking, his wife knows about it, but she's been keeping quiet about it because they're married. But there's something going on with him and his wife, things that we don't know about their marriage, and either his drinking or something else is going on. There's something weird going on here. Maybe, and it's one of those things where, remember in Signalgate, he included, he wanted his wife to go to top, not Signalgate, but he wanted his wife to go, I think she wasn't there. He wanted his wife and brother-in-law to go to top secret meetings with him. I think they were even in that Signal chat there. So it's almost like there's going to be, and let me ask that, is there a Signalgate-like moment? Is there a text thread with Hegseth that's going to come out? That's looking for the Page of Swords here for the whistleblower regarding this order, or regarding things that would involve his wife or family members being on it, and a card just literally flipped out. It's just one of them. I'm not going to look. I'm just going to keep going here. Is there, and I'll just have 2 signifiers. No, I'll make this one the signifier. Is there going to be another Signalgate type thing to go with these orders? Come on down, you'll see the card before me. The Hierophant. This is probably the investigation by Congress. Secrets. This is going to be Hegseth giving the order. The Minor Death card. Oh, wow. Whatever this Ace of Cups is, yeah, and the cup spilleth. They're either going to find that out during the investigation, or they've known about the rumors are in the government that he's drinking again, and this is going to be revealed. Secret drinking, things knocking over. I was asking about Signalgate. It's possible. It's possible there's another Signalgate here where, there's a mysterious chat that was being shared. He was in it, but people who shouldn't be in it are on there, and it's going to get leaked. Or some of it's going to get leaked. Do not doubt for a second. This guy's screwed. If he has another Signalgate moment like this, like he did before, and You've got this going on. He's done. I mean, Trump. I mean, again, likes him. He's Trump's favorite white supremacist. And, you know, the casting central likes his look on TV, but you know what? There's only so much embarrassment that you can take before you boot this guy and you replace him with somebody else, whoever that somebody else might be. Will Hegseth be impeached or removed from his post because of this? He can certainly be impeached. Trump could fire him too, but will he be impeached from this? Ace of Coins. There's a big opportunity for that to happen here. Two of Coins. The Death card. Oh, God, yes. Temperance. And the Four of Swords. Yeah, they may be talking. It could be that he resigns or they reassign him somewhere else. But, yeah, the Death card center. And this is an opportunity that they're going to remove him. He could be reassigned. He could be court-martialed himself, losing rank over this. It's like this is not quite the scapegoat card, but they need he's drinking. He needs to go to rehab. This is a card of purification. He needs to go to rehab over this. They may keep that part secret or something like that. Is he going to get impeached for this? He's going to be removed from office from this. He has an opportunity once he's out to get himself into rehab. This is almost all a life path thing for Hegseth. This whole situation here is an opportunity for him to get sober. I'm sorry that a bunch of folks in the Caribbean and the Eastern Pacific had to die for Pete Hegseth to be given an opportunity to get sober. Again, this is pure speculation on my part. Don't believe everything you hear from the mad ravings of a tarot card reader on YouTube. And again, for entertainment purposes only, it's just me interpreting the cards and trying to take some tidbits of knowledge that I know and make sense out of all of it. But if I were translating the cards this way, I'm going to say Hegseth's got his drinking problem has resurfaced, or never went away, but it's gotten worse. He's making very poor decisions, and a removal from office would be a fantastic way for him to get the help he needs. What about Mr. Trump? What about Donald Trump? Will he, this card wants to stand up, we're just going to go with it. Is he going to get impeached over this? The High Priestess. Let's do a full spread here. High Priestess versus the Knight of Pentacles in the mayhem. It's possible. First off, he has to be a sound mind and body type thing. Because he's got to know what his Secretary of Defense is doing, right? I think he's going to be given an off. This can't just stop with Hegseth. You're the person in charge. You're the person who knew what was going on. Hegseth, you can't just say, oh, Hegseth gave the illegal order. I just told him to do whatever he wanted to do. I think they're going to come to Trump with an offer to go. Things are getting too hot. And they may say that Trump has a brain injury here. And this is the exit out. But there's going to be a lot of turmoil in this one. This tells me, yes, this may not even be the Epstein stuff. This could give Congress the off-ramp they need to remove Trump. Yeah, in the past, I got the Four of Wands. I think Congress has been looking for a way to offload Trump. This is the opportunity that they've been given. And they like it. The Republicans like it too, because they can do it to save face. Donald Trump isn't mentally capable of doing the job anymore. He's old and he's tired. We're going to give him an out. This saves them a lot of problems with these orders. Hegseth will take the fall, but this is going to lead to them wanting Trump to go. This is from the Republican point of view, this is a great off-ramp. Now, mind you, this doesn't mean Trump's going to take it. But this is what they're going to try and do. The tower on the overarching energy. They know the Trump administration's coming to an end. Again, when you have bipartisan groups coming together, not only to release the Epstein files, but to investigate this, things are spiraling down the toilet. And all you're waiting for is the glug, glug, glug at the end. The lesson to be learned is the Five of Coins. This is like Trump and Hegseth on the outside looking in. They're now outsiders. They're going to be booted. One way or another, they are going to be booted. Interesting. And then the outcome is the Temperance card. This is a great opportunity for Trump to leave to get medical help. Both of them, both Trump and Hegseth, to get the medical help they need. Hegseth to get sober, Trump because he's going through dementia. And as well as having most likely mini strokes and acute renal failure and stuff like that. This, believe it or not, is the most benevolent outcome that can happen out of this. This can allow Trump to save face and get medical help that he needs. This can allow for Hegseth to get the medical help that he needs. And hell, only 30 people or so needed to die for it. I'm sorry. 83 people that the administration has deemed narco-terrorists. 83 people, my God. And I say that really sarcastically. I don't choose people's spiritual journeys or spiritual paths. I'm not the one who soul came down here and said, hey, you know what? I'm okay with being blown up in the Caribbean or blown up in the Eastern Pacific to give this guy an opportunity to get sober. I mean, allegedly, we agreed to stuff like that on our life paths. But when you're down here and you hear it said like that, boy, it sounds so screwed, doesn't it? Well, that's why they make us forget, I suppose, before we pass and have a life review. But it's just, if that were true, man, a lot of people have sacrificed a lot to help two people even inch forward on their life paths. That's a whole lot of help from the Spirit. I'll leave it there. Thank you very much for watching this video and supporting my channel. I do appreciate it. This reading is for entertainment purposes only. Again, do not believe all the ravings and rantings of online tarot card readers on politics. And sure as hell don't take investment advice from them on that. You do your research, you invest as you see properly. But all that being said, with the cards I threw, those are my interpretations. I hope you find those interpretations insightful, and I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.